Doc Ruiz, my old physics professor from UNC Asheville. Good to see you again.
Nice to see you too, Emily.
You don't remember me at all. I know it was over 20 years ago, but that's all right. There were a lot of students in that class, but you taught some really cool classes, and they're very much related to weather. And one of them in particular I want to talk to you about is the sound of snow, or rather the lack of sound during snow. So I'm curious, is that kind of quietness when you walk outside after a big snowfall, is that because there's nobody out and about, no cars driving around, or is there actual physical reason here why it's so quiet after a snowfall?
There's actually a physical reason. If you look at those soundproof rooms, you know how they have all those like openings where the sound can get caught? Well, when the snow falls, there's like air pockets. There's like areas, small areas inside, and the sound can then get trapped and absorbed, especially for like high frequencies too, which have short, wavelengths. But it doesn't last that long because the gravity starts to compact it after a while, and also if the sun should like shine on it, even if the temperature is below freezing, if the sun shines on it, you can get a thin layer of ice, and then it becomes like an auditorium. It becomes the opposite. So it only lasts briefly. I would say maybe an hour or two or so might be what you should expect. But it's very nice. I walked in the woods once like that near my home here, and it was awesome.
Is there like a minimum amount of snow that needs to fall for this to happen?
Well, I guess you want to have a few inches there is better, so that you get some snow there. But they did studies, way back in the 1930s or so, and they found that snow is very good at cutting down the sound level. It could be like 50%, more than 50%, and now that's 50% is kind of like well, 3 decibels. If you're familiar with decibels, like when we're talking here, it's about like 60, 60 decibels. So, but still, you can notice that. I mean, half the sound or more. It could be more than that. 75% or so, even close to 90 in some measurements have been made. So, quite effective.
So I wonder, does temperature make a difference when it's falling? Is it colder temperatures, fluffier snow, more sound
Yeah,
muffling?
yeah, exactly. You want the fluffy snow. If you can get some moisture in there, that's like not good. So like you don't want it to start melting. So you do want the cold temperature and have it fluffy. Have the spaces in there so that it can stay as snow for a while without being compacted. Or without having the sunlight hit it, because the sunlight can really mess you up. I was surprised years ago when I discovered that it was very very cold, like below freezing, but the sun was hitting my driveway, even below freezing. It starts to melt. That's the radiation from the sun is melting that snow, even though the temperature is above. I mean below freezing.
So does this occur while it's snowing as well, or just after a snowfall?
Oh, this nice quiet effect can occur while it's snowing, as long as you get a little bit of snow on the ground, maybe 2 or 3 inches. So I would like to see a little more than just a thin layer, because it's not gonna do a good job if it's really thin. Just think of those soundproof rooms where they have, those, openings, here and there. That they have some depth to them. So you do want to have a little bit of depth there to the snow, to have the air pockets in there that the sound can get trapped in.
You mentioned if it compacts more, it becomes more ice-like and can actually have the opposite effect. So does that mean like in an ice storm, sound is amplified?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Because see, when it gets compacted, you're basically losing the sound, proofing effect. Like if you went into one of those soundproof music rooms that had all those like openings, and you were to redesign it, like pack it all in, so it was like a wall, then it'd be more like an echo. It'd be the opposite, like like a basement. So that can happen with the snow, where it's real quiet, and then after like a few hours, where it gets compacted and there's some ice forming, it's like the opposite. It's like very, the difference is very striking.